What's up, y'all? I believe it's Wednesday. My week has been hectic, but happy Wednesday, okay? Let's just tap in real quick. I'm just chiming in real quick, but me and a really good friend of mine, we were talking about how she said, she was like, have you ever noticed that really toxic people can eat anything and sleep anywhere, where people that are more sensitive are more kind of like deliberate in the food that they choose and like how they, I guess, tap out for the night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, right. Let's get into it though. That narcissist, yo, I don't know if y'all noticed this. Please chime in. I would love to know if somebody else experienced this. But for me, my ex narcissist, when there was like anytime that there was like raw food, okay, especially like holidays, like, excuse me, I got my phone charging while I'm on it, so the cord is bothering me. But anyway, anytime that I cooked like a big game animal, bird, like a big turkey, or even like a chicken, or a really nice cut of steak, he always wanted the oddest part of the body. Okay. So let me give you some examples that actually happened. So one Thanksgiving, it's been like, well, and I knew better the second Thanksgiving. When you are going into the turkey to pull out that bag, that sack that has like giblets in it, it has the neck, it has like the heart, um, it has like all the odd parts, the kidneys or whatever the shit, liver, whatever. And they put it in a little sack for you. And no shade to people that just like to eat that, but it's a difference between, oh, my mom cooked that shit and no, I cooked that shit, versus a demon looking at you pull that bloody sack of entrails out, that bloody sack of organs out of an animal that you're about to cook, and they look down and go, I really need to eat that. That's different than a tradition, isn't it? And he would always be like, save that for me. And me just thinking he was just a little strange, I'd be like, okay. And I would like fry it up or try to marinate the heart and stuff and put it in a bowl for him to eat. Like, like, here, I'll serve you that over rice or whatever. Here's the gizzards, here's the neck of the animal, here's the heart, here's the liver or whatever. He really, really wanted it. Okay. And this happened on several occasions. The last time it happened was it was right before I went no contact, and he was still allowed to come here. And he came over, and I always cook. I'm not like somebody that's not gonna cook. So I'm like, if you're here, you eating, right? And so I was making filet mignon that day. And filet mignon, I got in really nice pieces. They're about like 1.5 inches thick, like big, thick chunks of beef, right? And soft beef, right? So like, I'm like, okay. And I know that as a chef, because I have studied cooking for a while now. Once you like pan sear it on all sides with the butter, and you throw some fresh picked rosemary into the butter, and you baste it, and you make sure all the sides are seared, not cooked, but like seared, then you place it in the oven so that it can get like really tender, right? You don't have to place it in there for long. Let's move on. So like when I put it in the oven, he came and he freaked out. He said, why did you put mine in the oven? And I'm like, this is a big ass piece of meat. Like, it needs to get like tender. I'm just gonna put it in there for like 5 minutes. If for yours to be like incredibly rare, everybody else can get theirs like different, right? He flipped out. He wanted that meat to be. He said, I told you I wanted it. First of all, what balls do you have on you, bull balls head ass nigga, that you're even over my house after betraying me like shit, and you're allowed to eat and should be grateful that you're in here barking orders, but here we go. He's like, I told you to just put it in the pan and immediately turn it over and then just put it on a plate, which meant like completely a 1.5-inch thick piece of meat. He wanted it raw. Okay? Like legitimately raw. What did that remind me of? Of course, because I'm a movie buff, because I only had movies instead of like really great friends. I had movies, right? To like watch a lot. So it reminded me of Rosemary's Baby, where Mia Farrow had this moment where she was pregnant with the devil's child and she bought this steak home. And there's a scene where she like just heats up a skillet, throws the steak in there, and immediately, as soon as the steak touches the skillet, she turns it over and immediately pulls it out and eats it on a plate with all this like blood running out of it, right? That's exactly how he requested that meat. And I was like, yo, like you can't even really eat beef completely raw that's not even ground up like that because of the texture alone, right? But he wanted it raw. Yeah, you can make as many sex jokes as you want out of he wanted it raw. No, this is the demonic version of wanting something raw. People that are demonic, people that are possessed with an entity, okay, they like raw meat, okay, like raw meat, okay, like straight out the pack. Raw ass meat. They like the entrails of animals just to be served up to them. They like the important things, the heart, the liver, the feet, the lungs, whatever it is out of that animal. They want that shit. They want it. They like want it in this animalistic kind of way, and that's how he was. Sorry, I'm moving. I had a mosquito in my house. I'm making sure it's not biting. But he wanted it in this animalistic kind of way. Okay? He didn't eat it for like the pleasure of whatever you seasoned it with. He wanted the body parts. Specific body parts that no one else would, really want to eat unless it was done just, I don't know, nicely somewhere, but he wanted them just straight up, just throw them body parts in there. I want them bloody as hell, and don't let them touch the pan for more than 5 seconds. Let's move on to the sleeping that me and my friend were talking about. When she said they can just sleep however, wherever. Have you noticed that when you got into an argument with that narcissist, that's when they slept like a baby? When they're usually up playing video games, up eating up all your food, up on some kind of cell phone, talking to some bitch they're not supposed to. They're always up, okay, at egregious hours, obscene ass hours. But when you get into them fights with them people, oh, they sleep real well. They sleep so hard, drool and shit coming all out their mouth. Their asshole probably drooling, their asshole probably leaking. They're that comfortable that their butthole is loose. That's how comfortable they are, right? They love that shit. The demon within them, they like raw meat and heat. And heat being the heat of an argument. They love going to sleep on an argument. They love that shit. The worse you feel, the worse the argument. I don't care if both of y'all punch each other in the head with a meat mallet and fail to make it to the hospital. Okay? They're going to go to sleep on that shit and be like, just what I ordered. So, okay? Watch what people eat. Watch the way they eat. Psychopaths eat different. They eat weird. They eat intentionally weird. They eat, honestly, out of necessity because the demon in them needs weird-ass body parts, and they need them to be more than likely raw. Everything is raw, right? Sex, meat, for them, raw. Everything needs to be as gross into the core and bare bones as possible. They need the life force of whatever living thing, dead or alive, that they touch. Okay? Be watching out how people eat shit. People start eating weird. They always order some overly raw shit or just weird ass body parts. Just go ahead and leave. That's a weirdo. That's a psychopath. Okay? If you can get into an argument, even the Bible says, do not let the sun go down on your anger. If they can go to sleep and nothing's resolved, get the fuck gone. Okay? Anyway, love y'all. This has been like 10 minutes or so whatever. But love y'all chiming in. Okay? Bye and stay well.